Are you hungry?
Give me something, something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. A Görgött on tour again. And we're in Sweden. We're in the place where I grew up. Well, spending my summers when I grew up. Behind there on a small island called Kalvsund. We're in the northern archipelago of Gothenburg. As you can see, it's very bright, but I hope you can see me okay. But in this episode, we're gonna eat my favorite sweet stuff in Sweden. So we're going to a confiserie, or like it's also a bakery. They make bread as well. But we'll eat some cakes, and I'll show you my 4 favorites. I might not manage all of them, but I will try all of them. So come with me. It's a bit of a tour. As you can see, I'm a bit redder in my face. We've arrived at our destination. Alex. It's a bakery in one of the islands. Well, it's actually 2. One on Öckerö and one on Hönö. Now let's go in and order our sweet stuff. So, I'm probably not going to be able to finish this, but these are my favorite 4 things and Swedish sweet stuff, cakes and stuff. We start off with the princess cake, princess Tårta. And then here we have a Dammsugare, a vacuum cleaner, because they look like vacuum cleaners used to do. In the next place we have a Budapester. It's filled with tangerines. And next to that we have a mandelbiskvi. Now let's bite into them and I'll show you all the goodies that are in there. So we'll start with the Dammsugare. This is great. It's basically arak inside. It's a bit of a tastes like rum or punch. Around that you have a buttercream and then green marzipan on the outside, and both ends are dipped in chocolate. Amazing. Now let's dig into one of my all-time favorites. The typical birthday cake here in Sweden is the princess cake. Or as you say in Switzerland where I live, Swedish Tårta. But the Swiss version of has nothing to do with the original, and I'll show you why. As you can see, the Swedish version is sponge cake. On the outside of that is buttercream, again marzipan around, and here you have some pastry cream, like some vanilla cream. Then you have sponge, then you have a layer of raspberry jam, and then sponge again. And this is just whipped cream. So we'll dig in. You need to get a bit of everything. This is so good, and so much better than the Swiss knockoff version. Now the first recipe for this princess cake, or princess Tårta, apparently appeared in 1948 in a cookbook called the Princess's Cookbook, and it was made for the then royal princesses of Sweden to learn to cook. And I think the original recipe didn't have the layer of jam that I showed you, but ever since I can remember, it's had that layer of jam. And I think it's essential. But now let's move on to the Budapester. But before we dig into the Budapester, do me the favor, if you enjoyed the episode so far, hit that thumbs up button below. Now the Budapester is a bit of an underdog, I think. It was developed by a guy called Ingvar Strind, because he loved the city Budapest. And it has its own day in Sweden, which probably the princess cake has as well. But it's the 1st of May. So the 1st of May is the Budapestbakelse Day in Sweden. Now let's dig into this. Now you see the tangerines here. And then you have the cream. And it's in between a sponge cake and a meringue. And it's made with walnuts as well. It's just great tasting. Get a bit of everything as always. This is my personal favorite. I love them all, but if I have to make a top one, this will be it. I will eat some more of this and then we'll have a look at the last one, the Mandelbiskvi. Now for the last of our four, the Mandelbiskvi. It's basically an almond base. You can see it in there. With chocolate around. And inside, it's a little bit salty. It's a buttercream filling. I think there's a bit of chocolate in the buttercream and a bit of salt, and that makes this really amazing. I mean, for me, as a Swede, Sweden has the best cakes. It's very sweet. There's a lot of marzipan, a lot of buttercream, but that's what I grew up with, so that's what I love. And I hope if you're ever in Sweden that you get to try these things. If you only have to try one, try the Budapester. Princess cake you can find everywhere. It's not easy to talk louder than the seagull because they're very loud. So there's a short Görgött on tour for you here in the northern archipelago of Gothenburg. I hope you enjoyed it, and next time you see me, I'll be back in Switzerland. But before I go, as always, please do me the favor, click the subscribe button and check the little bell icon to get notifications when new content comes online. But that's it for me from this time. Take care. Bye bye.